and Assalamualaikum, and a very good evening to Madam Aini Abdullah, who is my lecturer. And today I will be talking about my online presentation, which is for CHM 131. The title for my presentation today is Acid Rain. Before starting off, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Akma Wafin Binti Azizan, and I am from group RAS 1201P. As I said before, I would like to talk about acid rain, so let's get started. To start off, let's talk about acid rain. What is acid rain, you ask me? Well, acid rain is described as a form of precipitation that contains high level of sulfuric and nitric acid. Acid rains becomes acidic due to some pollutants in the environment. Acid rain is a type of acid deposition that can occur in many ways. Usually, the normal pH for normal rain is 5.6, which is slightly acidic. But for acid rain, it is around 4, the pH is around 4.2 to 4.4, which is acidic. Other than that, there are known as two types of deposition, which is wet deposition and dry deposition. Usually, wet and dry deposition will be carried by the wind, usually in very long distances. Other than that, it can also occur in form of snow, fog, and tiny bits of dry materials that will settle on Earth. Acid deposition in wet and dry will usually fall onto houses, vehicles, and trees. For example, if it falls into a lake, it will also make the lake acidic. There are two types of deposition, as I said before, which is wet deposition and dry deposition. Wet deposition, for example, is rain, snow, sleet, fog, and hail, which will usually becomes more acidic than usual. On the other hand, dry deposition is another type of acid deposition that happens when gases and dust particles becomes acidic. It usually comes from acid particles, aerosol, and gases. Dry acid deposition, on the other hand, can be inhaled by human, which can lead to health problems to some individuals, for example, asthma and difficulty to breathe. Okay, now we're gonna talk about acidity. What is acidity? Acidity is a way to describe an amount of acid in a certain substance, and it is measured by using the pH scale. The pH starts from 0, which is the most acidic, to 14, that is the most alkali. A substance that has neither acid or alkali is called natural, which is at number 7 in the pH scale. The acidity of rainwater comes from the natural presence of three substances, which is nitrous dioxide, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, which is found in the troposphere, that is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is present in the greatest concentration and therefore contributes to the most natural acidity of the rainwater. So next, I'll be talking about causes of acid rain. Rotting vegetations and erupting volcanoes release some sort of chemicals that lingers in the air and eventually will turn into acid rain. But most of the time, it is happening due to the hands of humans themselves. So I'll be talking about two causes, which is the first one is chemical reaction and the second one is caused by human themselves. Okay, the first one I'll be talking is by chemical reaction. Acid rain is caused by a chemical reaction that occurs as the environment produces compounds such as sulfuric dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. These compounds can rise very high into the atmosphere, where they eventually combine and react to produce more acidic chemicals. In water, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide dissolve very fast. Meanwhile, in the air, the wind moves them very fast. In the end, The two compounds may move long distances where they in the end becomes a part of the rain, fog, snow or sleet that we eventually see in our daily lives. So the next one is causes by human themselves. So many pollutants that have been emitted into the atmosphere by humans, they have already altered the composition of gases in the atmosphere. The amount of sulfur dioxide and most of the nitrogen oxides are produced by power plants as they burn fossils fuels such as coal to produce electricity. One of the biggest sources are coal burning power plants, factories, and automobiles. When humans burn fossil fuels, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide are released into the atmosphere. Those air pollutants react with water, oxygens, and substances to form airborne sulfuric and nitric acid. Wind may spread these acidic compounds through the atmosphere and over hundreds of miles, which eventually turns into acid rain that we all know these days. So lastly today I'll be talking about effects of acid rain. First, I'll be talking about effects of acid rain on humans. Air pollution can affect respiratory illness and can make them worse. People who have respiratory illness such as asthma and chronic bronchitis will find it difficult to breathe. Tiny particles can also be produced by the pollution that was affected by acid rain. When these particles enter the lung, it will cause a much more worse effect on a person or can cause them to have health issues. Nitrogen oxide also causes ground level ozone, which also includes pneumonia and bronchitis. This could lead to respiratory symptoms and also can cause lung damage. So now, I'll be talking about effects of acid rain on properties and buildings. Many properties such as vehicles, buildings, plants, and landmarks can also be harmed by acid rain. Acid rain can destroy buildings, sculptures, and landmarks that contains large amount of calcium carbonate, especially those who are made of rocks such as limestone and marble. Acids in the rain react to gypsum, which is a type of soft sulfate mineral formed by the calcium compounds in the stone, which will eventually drops off. So this marks the end of my video. I would like to say 1,000 thanks to listening to my explanation on acid rain. Thank you and bye!